Hi, this is Karl Palachuk, and this video is brought to you by our good friends at SureWeb. This time I want to talk about lessons that we learned from the last economic downturn, the Great Recession of 2008-2009, and for some folks, 2010. The first thing you need to know is that was a very different era. So that recession was fundamentally started by the banks collapsing. And obviously the first thing that happens then is all the cash disappeared. And so there wasn't really very much credit to go around. This time, the banks are not failing, at least that's not how we're starting this whole thing. And as a result, there is some money to go around. Money is being funneled through the banks. And so continuing credit may be an option for a longer period of time in this economic downturn. Now, with that important lesson out of the way, what did we learn last time that we can apply this time? In an earlier video, we talked about how cash is king. Well, that's certainly true. So the first lesson that we learned from the last economic downturn is that now is not the time to extend credit to your clients. You are not the bank. So you need to get paid in advance for everything you do. Luckily, in the last 10 years, clients have gotten used to that. They pay a monthly fee for their Adobe subscription, for their Office 365, for their Salesforce.com and their QuickBooks and lots of other things. And they pay a monthly fee for your services. As long as you remain key to their operation, you will be one of the monthly payments that they do not consider cutting back on. So, do not extend them credit. That's not the role of your business. You should get paid in advance as much as you can for everything you do. Second, we learned that recurring revenue is going to save many businesses. You know, there's a lot of pieces to this puzzle, but the bottom line is many businesses learned that recurring revenue saved their business from going under because they were no longer a discretionary spending item. People can cut back how much they spend on a monthly basis, but they can't eliminate it completely. And thankfully, we are more entrenched now than we were before. So recurring revenue is a tremendous source of regular income for you. And don't worry if you haven't already sold clients on recurring revenue. There's nothing about the current economic situation that will make it any more difficult to sign a recurring revenue client. It is just as easy to sign a new client and have them go to recurring revenue as it is to sign a new client and have them go on an hourly basis. So you might as well say, look, the way we do business is with recurring revenue. The way we do business is on a subscription basis. That's just the way it is. Now, related to that, lesson number 3, we learned this is not a good time for you to lower your rates. So if you hear advice from anybody to suggest that lowering your rates will help you save your business, the opposite is true, and here's why. Let's look at your average client. Let's say your average client has 25 desktops. Okay, if you lower their rate by $10 a month per desktop, well, that's going to save them $250 a month. That will not save their business. Even if it goes on for a year and they save $3,000, if $3,000 is all it takes to save their business, they're not hurting very much. If they're hurting really bad, $3,000 will not save their business. Now flip that around and look at the other side of it. If you have deployed 1,000 licenses, you've got 1,000 endpoints under management, and you reduce your expenses by $10 a desktop, well, that's $10,000 a month. That could easily kill many small businesses. So while you may not help somebody by lowering your rates, you could inflict critical damage on your own business. So do not lower your rates. That is not an option at this time. Please believe me, this is the way the math works out. And so you need to focus on how can you retain those clients? How can you provide true value to them? How can you be an indispensable asset to their company? That will allow you to continue to charge them the same amount month after month after month. This is your opportunity to show them the value of your managed services. So clients will have to tighten their belts. There's no question about that. You need to help them save money. Help them figure out how to use technology appropriately. Help them to use their technology appropriately. Help them to be more efficient. These are all good, positive things that you can do. It makes you an asset for their company. So when all of this is over, they're glad that they didn't get rid of you because you're now part of their team. So that's an important thing. Number 4, we learned that there are going to be waves of cash moving in, out of, and then back into this system. So you'll see cash disappear from your clients' customers, and then from your clients, and eventually it will affect your business. May not be right now, but it will happen eventually. And then when the cash starts flowing again, it'll come into your clients' customers and then into your clients, and then it'll be easier for you to have that relationship with your clients because the money will be there. So just be prepared that those waves are coming. And again, we don't have a crystal ball. We don't know when it's happening. We just know that those are the stages that you can look forward to. The next thing that I would say is you never know when the bottom is, right? So we don't know when it's going to start going downhill, and we don't know when it's going to stop going downhill. So the same thing is going to happen at the bottom. You won't know until you turn around and look backwards when you actually hit the bottom. But you can have some indicators. You can put some indicators in place to say, how much time is in our system? How many tickets do we have? What's the average wait time for a ticket? What's the average close time? You can measure these things, and as a result, you can see what the new pattern is, and you can see when it changes. So you may not know when the bottom is, but you can figure out when it was if you watch your statistics very, very carefully. So keep an eye on that. Remember, there are people who will not be heavily affected by this downturn. There are companies, and some of them are your clients, that have lots of cash. And as a result, they're going to invest during the downturn in new equipment, new technologies, and they're going to separate themselves from their competition so that when the economy improves, they will be so far ahead of their competition that they won't be able to be caught. That's the kind of client you want to look for. And the only way you're going to know who's who is you have to have business level conversations with your clients about, are they growing or shrinking? Are they hiring or firing? Are they investing or are they saving? You need to have those conversations. You can gear it all towards technology, but once you get a clue about who is investing, you can help them to invest even better and move themselves even further ahead of their competition. You talk about taking an opportunity to become very sticky with your clients. This is it. So track all of the time in your system, set up some ways to measure it, and remember, you're never going to know when we've hit the bottom and are already on our way back up without looking backwards. So do not extend credit to your clients. Rely heavily on recurring revenue. Do not take this opportunity to lower your rates. Remember that this is going to go in and out in waves. And finally, you never know when we've hit the bottom until you look back on it. So be smart about what you do. Make a plan. Next time, we're going to talk about building that plan. On behalf of SureWeb, this is Karl Palachuk, and I wish you the absolute best of luck in your managed service business.